It has been a tough morning already, and I'm sure now forward it will continue to be tough, but we must gear ourselves up. I'm grateful to share the panel with the fellow people that I know. They work endlessly every single day to make sure that migrants, refugees are not dehumanized at borders. As we focus today on the ways forward after this immoral pact have been approved, I start with myself because I'm sitting here not only as a witness to what is happening at the European external borders or within the European internal borders. I am a victim to what has been happening because I experienced it, I lived through it, and I continue to live through it because the people I know, the people who every single day have to leave their homes to cross borders because they have been forced by circumstances beyond their human endurance, insecurities, wars, are met with clear cruelty that we see today. I sit here with the pride that we can go forward. My sitting here is a testament that we have been resisting for a number of years. And for me, as a refugee, as a migrant, as someone who has been forced to live away, surviving days from my country of origin is already a resistance. It's a way to fight towards human rights. It's a way to be a testament to the violations that happen in our countries of origin. And arriving here to challenge our institutions, to do the rightful thing in a great approach that has to do with global citizenship, that has to do with eliminating racism, the subway standards that we see today. I heard from the former speaker, someone mentioned Ukrainians. Our hearts are with the Ukrainians. The solidarity that has been extended to them is more appreciated. But why is it not balanced? Why do we choose to only look to one direction? These are the things that we have been challenging for a number of years. Those of you who can look at the screen and see what is happening, this is me. I was filming those situations 3 years ago when I was in Libya, not with the intention to come to Europe, but with the intention to challenge the system within Libya, one of the most dangerous places that exists today. It is still one of the deadliest migration routes. When we look since 2014, over 30,000 people have lost their lives. Each of them was me, each of them was you, a journalist, an MP, a doctor, whoever, a mother that you are today. These people, as we see them being tortured, extorted, it's not because the Libyans wanted to act so. It is because there is a mechanism in a systematic way that has put them to be tortured in that way. How can we look away? How ourselves, being able to endure all these on our bodies, is still stand up? Because we want to bring to your attention, to question your own democracies, to awaken your consciousness, to do the rightful thing. When we look at the ways forward, we cannot take a step forward without having to persecute the people who have committed these crimes. We cannot forget what has happened in the past few years. We cannot forget the Italian authority, the memorandum that they have made with the Libyan regime, with the Tunisian regime. It means that we have to look at the legal pathways as well. That being said, in the past years, we have engaged and acted according to the law with different institutions based on the UN fact-finding mission that Libya is not safe. There are crimes that have been committed against humanity, and this is evident, which have been well documented. MSF was in Libya, in Tunisia. They have acted and documented all these things. Today, we have been acting together with the European Center for Constitutional and Human Rights to bring alleged perpetrators, because we know them. to the ICC, to the European Court of Human Rights. It means that a thorough investigation into the crimes that have been committed should be looked at. And this cannot happen but with our contributions as the common people, with our contributions as civil society, with our contributions as people belonging to the institutions in which we sit on today. Are you a parliamentarian? You must be something. You must do something that is human. You must do something that has to do with the moral standards that we speak about today. As Europeans, because I speak, and I speak as a European already. 2 years in Europe makes me to be a European. By living here, if I don't do something, the crimes that are being committed, the concentration camps that are active today in Libya is my complicity. If I don't challenge it, if I don't go to schools, if I don't come here and tell ourselves that we have to stand up and do something. Now, I'm not looking away from the investigations and the submissions that we have submitted to the International Criminal Court. It means that we know the people and we know the names. I will start with Italy, where I live today, and I see still inhuman treatment. I see lack of recognition to all of us. And this brings me to the Interior Minister, Marco Minniti, in Italy. We will see him in front of the court because he needs to answer, he needs to respond to the crimes that has been committed under his rule. We look at Matteo Salvini, we look at the current and former Prime Minister of Malta, Robert Abela. When I call their names, it means that these individuals are within our communities, they are our parents, they are our teachers, they are our colleagues in institutions that we know. It means that they do not wear the mask of the EU. If they wear those masks, we are a complicity if we don't hold them accountable. These names goes on to the members of Frontex. We have Fabrice Leggeri, who is now, I guess, is trying to get to secure a position in French. Such people who have committed atrocities within the EU territories, how can we allow them, as free citizens, as democratic society, to be in institutions that speak on our behalf? These institutions also does not aim to take the liberty and freedom of movement for people on the move. It means that if Europeans are stopped when they're traveling from Italy to France by the train, those 20 minutes, those small minutes of your lives, how do we get compensated for? It means that our own democracies, as European common people, is being stolen away. When someone dies in our society, it's a loss not only to the migrant community, but a loss to our humanity. When people have been instrumentalized and power of politics has subsided over our humanity, this is where we question it. As refugees in Libya, our dedication to fighting for justice, a more just world, a more human approach have not ceased to exist. We have approached the United Nations, the UNHCR in Geneva. We have traveled all the way to New York to bring these stories, to question what is happening. If this institution truly exists for us and represent us, they must speak in true sense. They must question the European approaches towards migration with clear and human value. That is why today we carry out several protests. I remember almost a year ago, I was standing here with several parliamentarians who have proved to fight for more human value and for more inclusive society. And we were speaking about the issues in Libya, the issues in Tunisia, which we see have only multiplied in the crimes that have been committed against the sub-Saharan. As we see on the screen, these are human beings being abandoned, but we cannot give up. We will continue to fight for a more just world. We will continue to question our own consciousness. We will continue to document what is happening. Our ways of resistance have changed because they needed to change. When we document these things in situations where we do not even have a single penny to afford bread for our children, for our families, but we have to use those resources in order to document what is happening, it's a great way of resistance. And the resistance in which we speak about has the common people all members of society that we are here today, let's look right and left. Who is sitting next? If we are talking about immigration, if we are talking about the pact, how am I the only one sitting in this room? Which means that in our way of resistance, the next conference, the next event that we would like to have, we need to hold it together with the people who does not have paper, the sans-papiers in the street of Belgium here in Brussels. We need to go to the streets of Rome, we need to go to Lampedusa and bring the voices of these people. It doesn't mean that if they are not educated enough, which I question what education means if we have to act in such evil way and not recognize human rights. These people are able to communicate and interpret their messages in the rightful way. So I end here and I invite all of us to preach the message, because we cannot allow few people that we already know in our communities to continue committing crimes on our behalf, on our names, with resources that should contribute to a more humane and inclusive society. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup David pour ce témoignage.